Hello everyone. I welcome you to CP104 software installation for Mac tutorial. And in this tutorial, I will navigate you how we can install different softwares to get started with Eclipse integrated development environment, which will help us to write Python programs. Now for that, we will be installing different software. So we'll start with Java, Python, then Eclipse, then PyDev, and in the end, we will be configuring PyDev and Eclipse IDE. So let's start with the installation of Java. Eclipse is a Java program, so therefore we need to install Java to run this program. Now we have mentioned certain nodes for each and every operating system. So you can refer to these nodes. Now, if you are doing and installing Java for the first time, then click on this link, which will navigate you to the latest versions of Java those are available. For this tutorial, we will be focusing on and downloading on JDK 21, and the operating system that we are targeting for this tutorial is Mac OS. Now here you will find two options, ARM64 and x64. So all those students who are using Intel chipset Mac, they will be using x64. And in case you are using a newer version of Mac with Apple chips, you will be using this very link. So let's download it. It'll take less than a minute. So once it is downloaded, you will see a JDK package. Double click on it and it will ask you for the installation. It requires an admin account for the installation. So be ready if you are not admin to enter the username and password. And once that is done, you can move the installer to trash because we don't need it. Now the second software that we will be installing is Python. So for downloading the latest version of Python, we will click on this link and that will navigate us to the download page of the Python. So this is the latest Python which is available, 3.12.5, and we will be clicking download it. Now once that is done, it will ask for installation. It will also ask for the password if you are not the administrator of this computer. Now installation will take a minute or less. And once it is done, you can again remove the installer from your computer. You need not to keep it on your computer. So it is about to finish and here it is. So we will move it to the trash. Now the third part is Eclipse. So Eclipse is an IDE that we will be using for writing our Python programs. So for downloading the latest version of Eclipse, we will click on this link, which will navigate us to the downloads page. Now here we can see that some download links are already created by this page for us. We can click on which of these two we would like to download. Again, we must know whether it is Intel based Mac or it is an Apple chip based Mac. So based on that, you will download the Eclipse version. It'll take less than a minute to download. And once it is done, double click on it and it will start the installer. And now we will be following all the steps mentioned on the page given to install Eclipse. So let's select the option, select advanced mode, and then you will see this page where we will select Eclipse platform and make sure that you uncheck bundle pool. And after that, one of the important thing is the Java virtual machine. So this could be looked at by clicking on this particular link, and we can see that there are different versions if you have installed multiple versions. So on my system, I have 17 as well as JDK 21 that we recently installed. So we can select that. Eclipse also gives you an option to download it directly from here, but it is good to follow all the steps that we have mentioned. So I'll select that and then I'll click next. So we'll select features and then we will click next. Click on show all variables, and this will tell you what is the root location where installation folder will be there. So you can keep it as is, or you can change it to something else. So as suggested by the tutorial, you can keep the location and then the root location, uh, and you can click next by clicking on finish, and it will take some time to install all the packages. And once it is done, and here it goes, and it is starting. So this is the welcome screen that will be starting. Just a minute while the total installation is complete. So make sure to look at this particular lower side. It may take few more minutes to actually install it. Okay. So once that is done, click on finish. Now you are almost ready with the IDE. It is already installed here. Now before we move forward, as you remember, I showed you that we chose one installation directory. So here it is, and normally for the Mac operating system, what is the best way to do is to move it to the application folder so that whenever next time you're searching for the Eclipse, you can find it easily in your spotlight or in the list of applications. So that is one thing. And now we have successfully installed the Eclipse platform. Okay, so the next step is to install PyDev, which is a Python development environment. And for that, we will be going to help, then click on install new software. Then we have to add here a name to this link and add the location which is given onto the page that has been provided to you guys, and click add. Once you click add, you will see PyDev coming here. Click on its installation and select it and click next, and click next and accept and finish. It will take some time to actually go through it. Maybe it'll ask you for trusting some links, and then once it is done, it'll ask you to restart the Eclipse. So the Eclipse is starting again. Now how we can check, again, clicking on this very link, and you will see the list. In this list, you will see PyDev. So bingo, that PyDev is set. Now moving to the next step, which is configuring PyDev. Now configuration is required to work properly in Eclipse for Python. So we want that you should use these steps. Now, this particular page or configuring PyDev will need you to go to the preferences. On Eclipse, on Mac, the preferences are available by clicking on Eclipse. So the location is different for different operating system. So then you go to this setting page where you will actually try to find out PyDev. Within PyDev interpreter, and within that is Python interpreter. The student actually struggle here because they don't know what Python version they've installed and where it is installed. For Mac, it is super easy. So you will go here and you can click choose from the list. It will automatically search your Mac and then find out the locations where the Python is installed. You choose Python 3, and then it'll show another window. You click OK, and that's where your Python will be available. Now for my setting, I have different version available. So but for you, you will be selecting Python 3, and then you will just click on apply and close. So once that is done, it'll set it up, and accordingly, your Python interpreter, which is required for running and executing your programs, will be ready. Now, one of the problem that you may face here is that sometimes your Python is not searchable. So you can select the first option, put the name as Python 3, and then you remember the terminal app, Python, and you will see that this is the location of the Python that is installed on your computer. You can add it here, and that's where you will be able to use. Now, I've already configured it, but on your computer, when you will be doing, you will be seeing OK button enabled. You click it, and it will be configured. We click apply, and we are now almost set and have configured our PyDev. Now, next part is going to configuring Eclipse. So Eclipse must also be configured for CP104 coding standard. So for that, download this file, and you will download it in the downloads folder. Then you will go into Eclipse for importing. So let me go here and Eclipse file import, and then I will select the general, and then I say preferences. I click on next, select the file that has been downloaded recently, and then I'll select import all and finish. So it'll ask me to restart, and now we are all set for Python. Now you can see that there are some additional file which we may not be using. One of the thing is we have not set up the Python perspective. So for opening Python perspective, we have to click that button and click on PyDev. So now you can see that Python is already shown. So additionally, you will still see this thing coming here. So what we should do is actually switch a workspace because we are taking an initial workspace. So I would recommend you to actually create another workspace here, and you can give a name of CP104. And once that is done, click on it and we say launch, it will restart. And now we will see the welcome screen again. Click here and select PyDev, and click here, click project, and I say PyDev project. I give a name, and I suppose I say Sierra 0001 and underscore, let's say assignment 01 or assignment 1. So that's the name of the project. Now, one of the things we need to do here is it is mentioning project interpreter is not specified. So we have to set it up manually. And it is again the same step that we have discussed, or we can also click on the other option, choose from the list. As you may remember that I showed you that this is how you can do it. So click on it and your Python interpreter is set. Now you will be able to execute your Python code. Another thing that you need to make sure is that always select create sources folder and add to Python path. This is very, very important for the CP104 because we check for the structure. Now this is our first project, and any program that we have to create should go into sources folder. So here is the first module that I'm going to write. So let's say Python T01. So click on it. Now you can see that T01.py has been created. Now for checking that whether our Python is running fine, so what we will do is we are writing a hello world program, and now we can say run as Python, and you will say it is printing. So bingo, our Python is running. So now let's go to how to set up this documentation for each and every program. Customizing template. This is important for CP104 because we want your name, your ID, your email should be added to your program whenever you create a particular program. So what we need to do is there is a file called template.txt. Copy this whole text, and then you have to go back to Eclipse, go to settings, again come to editor. There you will see templates, and on templates I will suggest you to look for empty. Yeah, this one, click on edit, and now you will be able to add this. So here's your name, so maybe Sukhjeet Singh, and your ID. So make sure that your spaces are followed are as per the template, and so we'll keep these things as is. For initial few weeks, you will not be requiring this function, but you can always delete it. So that's done. Click apply and click OK. Now let's see when I create a Python module. So let's say I give it the name T02, click finish, and it will ask for a template. Click on empty, and now you can see my name is automatically coming. So here you will write down the program description. Hello world program. Okay. So now if you don't need any of these, you can delete it, and you can write print hello world. That's it. Save it, and now you can run it, and you can see, oh, this is there. So that's all about it.